राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं त्वं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वर्तमान गुरुवृंद की जय। अपने अपने गुरुदेव की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So very happy to be among all of you. Hindi, yeah, English. Okay. 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 So very happy to be amongst all of you, and I was actually long waiting to associate with all of you. And somehow I've been traveling a lot of late, and this class was due for a long time. So today there is also some other occasions that I'm supposed to attend, but I told them that this class I've promised them for long term now, and I'm not going to reschedule it. So yesterday we had a good celebrations here. Usually at ISKCON Visakhapatnam, we celebrate Dussehra in a very unique way. Apart from bhajan, kirtan class and all, we burn the effigy of Ravana. And like usually they do this in North India. In South India, you less hear about it. And also in a place like Visakhapatnam, this is like, I mean, we are the only people doing it here in the city, and it's like a big event. So yesterday we had almost like maybe 6,000 to 7,000 people here in the temple and on the grounds. And it was a grand mega event, and people were very eagerly waiting to see the burning of the effigy of Ravana, and we had ecstatic kirtan and dance, and finally there was the burning of the effigy. We had a local MLA come, and he shot the arrow amidst the the cheering up by the devotees, Jai Shri Ram, and finally the Ravana effigy was burnt, and then there was this firecracker show. So we are all so much into because of Dussehra and all, and hearing and giving classes in connection to Lord Ram. So when I was asked yesterday, I told Prabhuji that maybe I'll speak something related to Lord Sri Ram. At the same time, he also told me about all of you students and how wonderful you are doing, and how you have now come up with your own YouTube channel, and how you're all congregating regularly, and not only are you practicing, but you're also becoming very promising preachers. So I was very encouraged to come and associate with your group, and I'm very happy to be here. So as usual, Ramayan we all know, and we've been hearing and seeing and watching maybe so many Ramayan serials and cartoons, and we know the storyline. But what we'll try to do something is a little different, and we'll try to see how we can take lessons from Ramayan. Actually, Lord Ram and his story, the Ramayan, his journey, is so much relatable to us, more than what we can relate to Krishna, because of the fact that Ramayan is more than divinity, it's about humanity. How, every character in Ramayan, their emotions, the kind of challenges they face in life, the choices they have to make, and the consequences because of their choices. So it's very relatable to our situation, because we are going through so many things in life, ups and downs, and what actually happened. So Ramayana is very, very relatable, because here you don't see Lord Ram showing any kind of miracles. He's just like a normal, human being, but who is very sweet, very ideal, and how he also goes through ups and downs in lives. And it's not about, like, see, we usually talk about this topic of, why bad things happen to good people. But in Ramayana, it is like, when bad things happen to good people, what do good people do? So this is very interesting because, bad things happen to good people, bad things happen to, we keep on hearing that. But when it happens, what do the good people do? That is what is something to learn and know. How is one supposed to respond during reversals and situations like that? So, of course, our specific situations and problems will be very different, but at least we can take some universal principles from, what happened in Ramayana and what happened in Lord Rama's journey. So, I will narrate the whole Ramayan as if you have never heard it, like a story form. But what we will do is we'll try to see how it's relevant and how we can take certain lessons or principles from this. So I'll begin the story. Once upon a time, there was this very pious king known as Dasharatha. So this Dasharatha, he had not 3 queens, 340 queens. Many of them are not aware because in the famous Ramayana serials, they only talk about 3 queens. So they just know the 3 queens. But actually, Dasharatha had 340 queens. So why did he marry so many queens? Like, what's the story behind? So actually what happened is that we all know that in the Parshuram incarnation, the Lord was annihilating all the Kshatriyas. So almost all 21 times he completely wiped out the Kshatriya class. So, but every time that he wanted to come and attack Dasharatha, he could not do it because Parshuram had a certain rule. When he would attack a Kshatriya or kill, if he's getting married, then he will not kill that particular king. So what Dasharatha was doing is, every time that he gets the news that Parshuram is coming towards Ayodhya, he would immediately get married. So when Parshuram comes, he says, oh, he's getting married, okay, I'll come back again. So like that, and every time he comes back, Dasharatha is getting married. So like that, he ends up marrying 340 queens. But the principal queens were, Kaushalya and Sumitra and Kaikeyi. So now, what's the lesson we can learn from here? So the lesson that we can learn from here is, even the father of Supreme Personality of Godhead also has problems in life. It's not that we are the only ones who have problems in life. Why does he have problem in life? Why? Because this is how the material world is designed. Today, if I, put 2 slices, I just had sandwich. So today, you just put 2 slices of bread in the toaster. So what will happen? The bread comes out in a toast form, hard. And now if you start complaining, I had put 2 soft, very soft bread inside. Why did this come out so hard? Because that's what the toaster is supposed to do. It will turn the softer things into hard. So similarly, if you say in this material world, why am I suffering? Why are there problems? Why this happened to me? Because you are in this material world. So this is what you have to expect from the material world. That's what Krishna says, who made this material world. Dukhalam ashashvatam. This is temporary and is full of miseries. So even though Dasharatha was a Supreme Personality of Godhead's father, even he had to face so many problems and turbulences in life. So finally, of course, first of all, the Parshuram problem, and then finally when he did get married, there were no children. He had only one daughter, which he had given in adoption to his friend. And then finally he had this Putra Kamishta Yagya, which was also done with a lot of difficulty because they had to have the right Brahmana, the right situation. And it was a big story how he brings Rishi Shringa there. And finally he has the Yagya, and then how his wives give birth to Ram, Lakshmana, Sita, Hanuman. All the 4 princes are born. And then we know how they go to Gurukul. And once they come back from Gurukul, then they are, Vishwamitra arrives there. And then he comes and tells Dasharatha, then I want to take your sons with me for, conducting my yagya peacefully, which has been disturbed by certain demons. So initially Vishwamitra is very reluctant, but finally on the guidance of Vashishta, he's like fine with it. And then finally Lord Rama and Lakshmana, they, go with Vishwamitra and they help him out with the yagyam. And then Vishwamitra takes them to Mother Sita, Sita Swayamvara. So this is very interesting because not only in Lord's life, in our life also, actually everything is very much pre-planned. Just like, if Vishwamitra would not have taken the Lord, he was supposed to lead Lord to Swayamvara. So that's how things unfold in life also. Everything was pre-planned. This will happen, then this will happen, then this will happen. Similarly, in our lives also, whenever we see certain situations unfolding, we should understand things may not make sense to us as of now, but just because things don't make sense doesn't mean that they don't have sense. We are not able to make sense out of it just now, but they may be having some sense which we'll understand later on as we become more matured. Like this was not making sense, that why should Vishwamitra force that I want your son? He's just a young little boy. Dasharatha is a Dasharatha. He can fight single-handedly with so many armies, and he said, no, I want your son. So and then we understand that there is a divine plan behind everything. So in our lives also, when we see such kind of situation, we should understand, as of now I'm not able to make sense out of it, but maybe there is some divine plan of the Lord. So finally the Lord is there, and then he participates in the Swayamvara, and then he wins Sita, and then they get married. Now this is also very, very interesting, and especially keeping in mind that you are all students. The Swayamvara concept is so unique. So many of them have this thing in the mind, right? Women empowerment. Now we are all so modern, and now we are equal, and now the women have been given, choices and freedom. No, dear, they were even given freedom and choices in those days. Forget about Kali Yuga. Even in Treta Yuga, they had choices. So it was not that they were forced to marry somebody, but only thing is that with the empowerment, they were given the right discrimination and intelligence. See, basically, what does it mean by empowerment? Always everybody is talking about female empowerment. Empowerment means a privilege to make choices. Like nothing is imposed on you, but you are given choices. Okay, what do you want to do? But if this empowerment, that is, these choices are given, but if you are not given the intelligence to make the right choice, if you are not given knowledge to actually not only make the right choice, but also to implement it in your life, then what is the use of that empowerment? You should be given that intelligence also, right? For example, if you give a child some two choices in the hand, you should also give them knowledge why you should pick up this or why you shouldn't pick up this, right? So in those days, the women were given full freedom. They can marry anybody they want to. But at the same time, they were having such wonderful training also. They were having that intelligence also, whom to select, right? So it's not that, they used to just fall for anybody. They were also equipped with the knowledge. So when they used to go for the Swayamvara, the girl with the Jayamala used to stand there, and then the courtiers, they used to give out the details. He is the king of so and so XYZ kingdom. He has this qualities. These are the wars he won. His father's name is this. He comes from this great lineage. Then second king, he comes from this. So she was given enough information, and then among that she used to select. And the beauty was, not everybody had that privilege to walk inside the Swayamvara. The right kind of people who were equal with that the father of the princess, he would select only those prince to come and participate. So even to participate in that Swayamvara, they have to have that privilege and qualification. So among the qualified people, the girl used to select, okay, I will marry this person. So, and that was what was carried forward, like in our generation also. The parents used to select the boys, and then the boy and their family come to the girl's house, and then the girl has been told, okay, these are the qualification of the boys, his parents are like this is what, and then finally girl makes a choice. But then of course now we see something very, very different is coming up, the culture that is coming up, where the girls and boys pick up a partner or get married to somebody very random, based on infatuation and temporary emotion and maybe some temporary attraction, which is mostly guided or guided or inspired by the changes in the hormones, so which doesn't last long. So if you see now, the temporary attraction for some time is like wow, and then because it's based on physical beauty, it will fade away after some time, because the physical beauty does not stay for long. But if the relationship is based on maturity, wisdom, guidance, commitment, and a deeper understanding, it's going to last long. That is why what is happening nowadays is love at first sight and divorce at first fight, because it's completely based on physical attraction, right? So those days, the marriage, the sacred bonding was so deep. They had lifelong commitments. There was nothing called divorce, So they had this respect for each other, responsibility and commitment. So very unfortunate that I have to mention these words, because now with the culture of live-in relationships and so many things that is coming in, it's very pathetic, where people don't even understand what it means by uncommitted relationship. Uncommitted relationship means disrespect, that's all. If you love somebody, you want to be committed. Today, if you love me, you will say, Mataji, if I say, okay, I need a glass of milk every day before I sleep. Okay, Mataji, I'll bring it every day. So if you love me, you commit to me. But if you tell me, if possible, I'll bring, some days I'll bring, if not possible, I'll not bring. So that means you don't respect me enough. If you really love me and respect me, you will be committed to me. So similarly, in any relationship, if you say, I want to live in a relationship which is not uncommitted relationship, that means you don't love the person. You don't respect the person, right? So anyway, that was not the culture in those days. So the relationships are very deep, and even the family is born together. So finally, Sita Mata and Lord Ram, they get married. The Swayamvara happens, and then everything is very happy, and things are going on. Now what happens? Dasharatha Maharaj, one day, as he was taking his bath and putting his tilak, he sees white hair. And he says, oh, I'm getting old. So now time for succession. I need to make my son the king. So who is the most deserving candidate? Of course, it's Lord Ram. Not only he's eldest of all, but he's well qualified. So he immediately announces, and he's going to be the crown prince, and everybody is very happy because they all like Lord Rama's qualities. But then finally, what happens now when it's all done, all set. The ministers have been informed, the citizens have been informed. Now the family members have been informed. Now what happens is, we have this entry of the villain in our movie. The Manthara comes in, and then she brainwashes Kaikeyi. How can you be so happy? So this is one very important lesson that we can learn is even good people can be misled in doing terrible things by disinformation. So we are vulnerable. So if we don't get the right information, or complete information, or less information, see, it's not only always misinformation. Sometimes it's half information also. Maybe you just know half of the side of the story, and you start making so many conclusions. Or maybe you just don't know the right information, or you just don't know the complete information, and we do so many things. So this is what happened with Kaikeyi. She was super excited as soon as she came to know that Rama is going to be the king. But as soon as Manthara, she changed the complete perspective of looking at it. Don't look at it as Rama is going to be the king. Look at it that you are going to be the maid servant of Kaushalya, because your son is not going to be the king. So immediately when she was, shown a different perspective, she started thinking, is it? Or will I become maid servant of Kaushalya? No, that I don't want. So immediately her focus was changed from Ram to her becoming a maid servant. So this is one very, very important lesson, is that we should be very careful with whom we are associating. Sometimes we associate with the wrong people. They will make everything, they will show us everything in a wrong perspective, and wrong context. So we have to be very careful, especially as students, in Manusmriti it says students need to have 5 qualities. Kakacheshta, Bakodhyanam, Swain Nidra, Grihatyagi, Alpahari, Vidyarthi Panchalakshanam. 5 qualities a Vidyarthi, a student should have. What are those 5 qualities? Kakacheshta, should be very hardworking like the crow. We all heard the story of the thirsty crow. How it took the pebbles and put in the pot, and how the water came up one by one. Pebbles one by one, and how the water came up. We have to be hardworking. Bakodhyanam, how the crane, has a 1-point focus on trying to get the big fish. It forgets about the small fish. It just stays there like statue. And as soon as the big fish comes, then it will just take it. So there will be small pleasures in life. Forget about it. Focus on your main goal. Kakacheshta Bakodhyanam Swain Nidra. The dog, how alert the dog is, right? The moment you make a little noise, the dog will move. Similarly, a Vidyarthi should be always very alert, should not be doing daydreaming. And Alpahari, this is the point actually I wanted to share, is Alpahari. That means you have frugal eating. So that doesn't mean that, like fasting or like Dhruva Maharaj, surviving on roots and fruits or berries or water or air. No. Eat as much as required. Sleep as much as required. Yukta ahara viharasya. Drink, eat, sleep, see, hear, everything perfectly. So because if you overdo any of these things, it will hamper your Vidyarthi life, your student life. Because is what is happening when you watch a lot of content, and we have to be very careful on what kind of content you are watching. Right? Because what is the principle? What goes in comes out. If you keep on watching wrong content, which is not conducive for your education and for your spiritual, academic and spiritual life, ultimately you will be in trouble. So we have to be very careful. Association is not always through people. Like Kaikeyi associated with mantra, in our life there may not be any mantras, but there may be a smartphone where there are so many varieties of mantra. So we have to be very careful what kind of books we are reading, what kind of friends we are associating with, what kind of content we are watching, what kind of content we are hearing, what kind of content we are eating. Everything we have to be very, very careful. So this is what happened with Kaikeyi. She was a good lady. In fact, Kaikeyi was so wonderful. Her name was Sulochana. Sumukhi, pet name. Why Sulochana? Because when she used to get up in the morning, she used to not look at anybody. She used to keep her eyes closed. As soon as she gets up, you have to take her by hand to Lord Rama's room. First thing she'll do is open the eyes and look at Lord Ram. Now my day is okay. That's why she's called Sulochana, because he wants to use her eyes in looking at the beautiful lotus face of Lord Ram. And she was Sumukhi. She used to speak so sweetly, so pleasingly. So it is said that people were confused whether Rama is Kaushalya's son or Kaikeyi's son. That much she was attached to Lord Rama. And Kaushalya was attached to Bharata. So that was the situation with the stepmothers. But what happened? Manthara entered her life, and instead of bringing Rama closer to her, she drew Rama far from her. This is what happens in our life also if we allow mantras to come, right? So we have to be very careful what we are doing as student, what kind of content we are watching, what we are hearing, and whom we are associating with. Now what happened? Mantra told her, you will become the maid servant. Now what is supposed to be done in this situation is, she's supposed to go and speak to Dasharatha. So, are you going to make me the maid servant of Kaushalya? So is this your plan? But she did not communicate. She made her own conclusion and she decided, okay, what I should do now? Maybe I should ask my 2 boons and banish Ram, right? So what has happened here is non-communication. So in our life also, don't keep talking about others. Talk to others. That's very, very important. We keep talking about others. Something we hear say, then we'll reproduce with some masala, then somebody will say something. No. Whenever there is some kind of a misunderstanding, go ahead, confront the person directly. Prabhu, Mataji, or excuse me, so-and-so, Mr., Mrs., this is what I heard. This is what, did you say like this about me? Is it true? Just go ahead and talk. If you don't communicate, misunderstandings keep on increasing. One of my favorite example is that, there was this husband and wife, they both had a fight. So they were not talking to each other. So now this watchman of the house, he thought, this both, they don't even talk to each other. Anything they want to say, they'll call the watchman. Tell her this, and he will call. She will call. Tell him that. So now he thought, this is a very wonderful opportunity. So what he did is, from his village, he brought all his relatives. And then he brought them in their house and they started living. Now this wife, she thought, they must be my husband's relative. Why should I talk to them? And husband thought, they may be my wife's relative. So now happily these relatives were staying for 6 months, in their house, eating and enjoying. Finally one day this husband got irritated. They're watching my TV, using my refrigerator, not even allowing me to sit on the sofa. So finally he one day went and confronted with wife. How long will your relatives stay here? The wife said, my relatives? They are your relatives. So when both of them started talking, the watchman who was standing outside, he heard from the window, they both have started talking. Now the time to escape. So he immediately told his relatives, pack your bag, let's go from here. So the moment they started communicating, now the watchman can't take advantage of it. Similarly, in your lives also as students, don't get into that mess. She said that and he said that and she told me that, and don't disturb your spiritual life because of it. Go ahead and communicate. Yes, what happened? Keep your mind light. Don't have all that heavy weights in your mind, this happened, that happened. If you keep it lighter and emptier, then you will be able to absorb Krishna consciousness very easily. But if you keep it filled with so many other thoughts, nothing will go to your brain. Right? Always keep it. So don't only talk about others, actually go and talk to others. What has happened, and solve all your misunderstandings. But Kaikeyi didn't do that. So finally she just decided that I will ask Dasharatha for the 2 boons. My son should become king and Rama should be banished. So she went ahead and asked that. Now what happens is, when we only think about ourselves, we become very hard-hearted. We don't realize, what happens. Now, the one who was so attached to Lord Ram became so hard-hearted. Though Dasharatha was crying and wailing and the citizens are crying, she was very adamant, no, Ram has to go and my son will become the king. So now what happened? Finally, when Lord Ram came to know about this news, in the Kamban Ramayan, it is explained that when Lord Rama was given this news that your father has summoned you, come and meet him in the palace. Ram was in a very happy mood. He doesn't know what his father has summoned him for. He's just going like, there must be something my father wants to talk, because next day is his Rajya Abhishek. He's going to be the king. So he just goes and in a very happy mood. So Kamban Raman, it says, so beautiful he was looking, the way he was smiling, the way he was walking. His walking was like an elephant, and the beautiful way that he went to the palace of his father. And finally there Kaikeyi tells him that, your father is unable to speak, but I am telling you, this is his wish. You are banished for 14 years. So immediately Lord Rama says, okay mother, I am ready to leave. And now when Lord Ram comes out from Dasharatha palace, now in Kamban Ramayan it says, when Rama was walking from his palace to Dasharatha's palace, I could explain to you in few words how beautiful was his smile, how good he was looking, and how effulgent. But now after hearing the news of Vanavas, when Rama walks from Dasharatha's palace to his own palace, I cannot explain the beauty, because now he was all the more effulgent, all the more sweet looking. So it's undescribable. So imagine now, actually it should be other way around. He should be like, oh, what happened to me? I was supposed to be rewarded and suddenly I'm punished for no fault of mine. But he's same. When he came in also he was happy. When he came out he was more happy, as if some prize money has been announced, So how could Rama do that? Like anybody, some reversals come in your life, it's okay. I mean, you can tolerate them, but you can't be happy about them. How come Lord Rama was happy? How come he didn't complain? Why me? I've not done anything wrong. I've always been an obedient student, an obedient son, a nice husband, a caring brother, a law-abiding citizen with all good qualities. Why did this happen to me? He never asked that. I was just inspired by this one incident that I had heard. There was this one very famous tennis player called named Arthur Ashe in the year 1992. He was diagnosed with AIDS. So he was a Wimbledon winner. So all the press reporters, and those days AIDS was like big taboo. There was no much research, and like it was like there was no cure or something. So many press reporters went and asked him, "Sir, what do you have to say about it? Like what has happened to you?" So he gave such a nice explanation. He said, well, there are lakhs and crores of people who buy a tennis bat and ball. But after a few days, they will play and they'll, keep it in the living room and forget about it. Out of those lakhs and crores of people, maybe few thousand people will actually continue playing. Out of those few thousand, some people will seriously learn it in an academy or get a coach, not that for pleasure. Out of that, few hundred people may get selected for some competition. Out of that, very few people will get selected on district level. Out of that, very few people in national level. Out of that, very few people in international level. Out of that, maybe just 2 or 3 may get selected in the final game. And out of that, one person will carry the Wimbledon cup, the winner cup. So when I was holding the Wimbledon cup, I never asked Lord, out of these lakhs of people, why me? Why did I get this cup? I never asked. So now when this disease has come upon me, I will not ask the Lord, why among these lakhs of people, why I got the disease? When I got success, I never asked. So when I get this problem also, I'm never going to ask. Whatever it is Lord's plan. So like that, Lord Rama, whatever the situation, okay, this is what, See, the other thing is, when Lakshmana comes and, tells Lord Ram, what is this? Let's fight with our father, we'll defeat him and we'll take away the kingdom. Immediately Lord Ram says, well, I think that's what is written in the destiny. We can't do anything about destiny. So now look here what Ram does. When things are not under the control and we can't do anything about it, he immediately puts it on destiny. Maybe that's what is in their destiny, transfers the blame to destiny and says, okay, now we need to follow the father's order. And not only that, he changes the perspective of other people also. Like Kaushalya was very sad and angry on Dasharatha. Why did he do that? But he immediately changes his mother's perspective, that actually it's not father's fault, he is a victim. He's been, he's been bound by the promise that he has made. So what can he do? He needs your help. He's devastated. You please be around, help him. And then when he comes to Mother Sita, he takes his whole reversal in such a positive way. Oh, Sita, you're always telling that I'm not giving you time. Look, now I have all the time for you. And then he says, okay, what a golden opportunity. He tells the citizens, oh, I can go and associate with the saints in the forest and I'll get a lot of wisdom from them. What an opportunity I got. And in an elder brother's life, to see his own younger brother to become a king is such a happy moment, because an elder brother is like a father to the younger brother. So such a happy moment. I will see Bharata as king. I will associate with the sages. I'll have all the time. I'll gain lot of wisdom. So everything he took in such a positive way. So similarly, dear students, for us also in our lives, whenever there are some reversals, just need to shift the focus. Instead of focusing on the negative side of it, we can always convert it into positive side. Oh, I got this. Oh, maybe I can have time for this. Or maybe I should do this. See, when there is one door closed for us, don't concentrate on opening that door only. Maybe there are some other doors next to that door which are already open for you. Just shift your focus. You are just focusing on that door. Maybe it's not going to open. It's closed. Just shift other place. This is what he did. Okay, I have so many chances. Instead of getting into the self-pity mode, oh, this happened to me. It's okay, now what can I do best in the given situation? This is what every student should do. What should I do best in my given situation? What I can do the best. This is what happened. So instead of getting angry on Kaikeyi or getting angry on anything, he said, okay, now let's move forward. What should be done best? So this is very important. But again, it's not that by this Lord Rama is telling us that we shouldn't do anything about it. Anyway, everything is destiny. Because when it came to Sita's kidnapping, Lord Rama didn't tell Lakshman, it's our destiny. Now she's kidnapped. What we can do? Let's go back. No, let's fight. I want my wife back. But when it came to Dasharatha, he didn't say, let's fight. Why? Because there he was doing his duty as an obedient son. As a son, I have to follow my father's order. And while doing my duty, if there is some kind of a calamity coming up or adversity, then I will put it on destiny. As a husband, it's my duty to protect my wife. So now since this situation has arrived, I have to go ahead and protect my wife. So he was not like, it's not that he was lazy and trying to put the blame on destiny. But whenever, whatever is required, he did that, right? So like this, for students also, it's not that, you don't study and say, anyway, it's destiny. No, you study very hard as if everything depends on you. And when the result comes, then you leave it on Krishna, because anyway, that's Lord's plan, whatever the result has come. Just like a farmer. The farmer doesn't say, anyway, it depends on rain, and rain is dependent on Lord. So what's the point of plowing the field? No, you plow the field, you put the seed. Now if the rain comes or doesn't come, that is Lord's desire. So now he becomes very positive and he said, let's go ahead. So now while they are on the way, all the citizens of Ayodhya, they follow Lord Ram. And he can't stop them. It's not 1 or 10 people, thousands and thousands of people. He doesn't know what to do now. They're just following him everywhere. So finally when they reach, almost beginning, end of the Ayodhya's boundary, it's already night. So they all take rest. So next day morning, even before the sun rises, Lord Rama gets up. He wakes up Lakshmana, wakes up Sita and says, let's escape. Because if it's morning and these citizens, they wake up, they will not allow us to go. So he wakes up Sumanta. Come on, Sumanta, you take us on the chariot and don't make any noise. And you move your chariot in such a way that even if they try to follow the marks, they will be misled. So you drive this way, then come back, then drive this way, that way, so they'll be completely confused. So while these Ayodhya Vasis are sleeping, Lord Rama, Mother Sita and Lakshmana, they just escape. Now this is also one very important lesson. Alert. Being alert in bhakti is very important, right? Just like you see this army people, they have been taught how to use the gun, They have been trained, they have been given knowledge. This is a gun, this is a pistol, what is the difference, with how much speed it can shoot, with how much distance, everything. But just because they have knowledge, just because they have training, they can't win the war if they are sleeping. They have to be alert also. So they can't say that, I know how to use the gun, I have been trained how to use the gun, but when the enemy come, if you are sleeping, the enemy will kill you even if you have all the knowledge of the gun. You have to be awake, then you can shoot the enemy. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, we may have all the knowledge, all these slokas by heart, very well, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, all the courses, everything. But we may be trained also by nice classes, regular basis. But if we are not alert, then Maya will come and shoot us. So we have to not only be conscious of Krishna, we have to be cautious of Maya. Both have to happen simultaneously. So here, the Ayodhya Vasis, they were not alert. They were sleeping. Because they were sleeping, Lord Rama escaped and went away from their life. Now what happens here? Bharata, he comes back. He doesn't know what has happened here. When he enters, he sees his mother is in the white sari. Father is dead. Citizens are unhappy. What is this all? And when he comes to know, he's talking to his mother. My dear mother, what did you do? This is completely, wrong what you have done. Meanwhile, he hears a sound. Shatrughna is beating up Manthara. So he runs outside and stops Shatrughna. What are you doing? Shatrughna says, I want to kill Manthara. No, don't do that. No, why shouldn't I do it? She is the cause of all. Then Bharat says, just one thing. Even I would have loved to kill my mother. But you know why I'm not doing it? Because Lord Ram will not be pleased with that. We cannot attack a woman. We're not supposed to hurt a woman or, fight with a woman or kill a woman or punish a woman. So just because Lord Ram will not be pleased with it, so we shouldn't do it. So there's an important lesson here also. Though there are these emotions, of killing Manthara or killing Kaikeyi, how is he able to restrain his lower emotions? Because of that higher emotion that he has for Krishna. Similarly, in our lives also, if we develop that higher relationship with Krishna, only then we can control our lower emotions. So even if we have very good relationships with our mentors, we love them, then that also help us to control our lower emotions. I'll give you my own personal example. When I was a young student in class 7 and I was attending this ISKCON summer camp in Hyderabad, believe me, I had no eagerness of, by 7:20 be there for Darshanarti, because it's summer holidays, summer camp, I want to relax. But the fact that I used to come early was only because the Siksha Guru who was giving the summer camp, I became very fond of him, that Prabhuji should appreciate, oh, look at this little girl, she's coming before everybody. So just to see that smile on his face, just to see that, yeah, he will give me appreciation, I used to come like before any student comes, summer camp, and stand right there, Radha Madan, in front of Radha Madan Mohan in the Abbot's temple. And then, Prabhuji used to tell in the class, yeah, I have seen her. And I'll tell you, one day what happened, Prabhuji used to come from that one particular door, from Parikrama Marg, the offices were upstairs. So one day it so happened that I came on time, but Prabhuji has not come that day for Darshanarti. And I was so disappointed. I came and Prabhuji did not see. I came and Prabhuji has not seen. I came early. Useless. I didn't even think that I'm seeing Radha Madan Mohan. I'm thinking it's useless. If Prabhuji is not seen, what's the point of coming for Aarti? I mean, because there is that level of love for Krishna and all that understanding has not come. The only understanding I have is Prabhuji should be very happy with me. So one day Prabhuji was telling that how we should be connected to Krishna and how everything should remind us of Krishna. So I went to the gift shop and I bought myself a nice Krishna t-shirt. And next day I went with a nice t-shirt and jeans, and I thought Prabhuji will say, wow, look at that girl. She is wearing. And Prabhuji immediately told in that class, girls are supposed to wear Vedic outfits like chudidar and not wear jeans. And I thought, really? I only had jeans in my wardrobe. I never knew. Really? Then I went home and I told my mother, give all my jeans in charity. What happened to you? Are you gone mad or what? Yeah, I want to buy all chudidars because that is the way. So now I don't know much about Krishna or attachment for Krishna. My only attachment is Prabhuji should become very happy that yes, this girl is following everything. I was a little girl in class 7. I mean, that's my only goal at that time. But how the goal leaded me in a proper way and direction, and then how slowly I developed that affection for and love for and respect for Radha Madan Mohan. So this is what happens here. He wants to kill Manthara, but the only thing he's thinking is Lord Ram will not be pleased. So like that in our life also we have some mentor, because we are not on that level as of now to have direct relationship with Krishna, but some mentor in our life where we think, my goal is only one thing. I don't know whether this is, if my mentor is pleased, or if my spiritual guru is pleased, my Shiksha Guru or my Diksha Guru is pleased, that's all I want in my life. Even if we are on that level, slowly we'll go higher and higher, and the things that we didn't even know we are capable of, we'll end up doing it. Just because we want to please them. I'll tell you, in my own, in our own temple also, we have given certain quota for all the devotees for Gita Mahayagya, the coming up December marathon. And one of the Matajis here, I mean, she can't speak fluently in English, or she's not that highly educated and all. But just because, she has taken up her in mind that, okay, Mataji has told me and I have to do it. So she's already doing so wonderful amidst all the other devotees who may be highly qualified, they are like, they know the scripture very well and they can quote slokas from here and there, but she's able to do amazing just because she's only one thing. Oh, Mataji will be pleased with it and I have to somehow, increase my score. So this is what happened, when we have that connection, then they bring out the best in us. So, all our good things come out. So this is what happened, and he said, no, we should not, because Ram will not be pleased. So finally they decided not to kill, but now what to do? People are misunderstanding Bharat, including Kaushalya, including Vasishtha Muni, including the citizens. Nobody want to even look at Bharat. They are thinking, because of this person, Lord Rama has left us, So now everybody is misunderstanding what to do. So usually, for no fault of yours, if everybody around you misunderstand you, it's a very terrible situation, I tell you. It's a very terrible situation. So what to do next? So what we have to do next is, instead of getting disappointed, we should move ahead. Like, I'm just reminded of this one pastime in Prabhupada's life, where Prabhupada was very fond of kachoris. So one day when he was eating this kachori, he liked it. So he told his servant, oh, this kachori is very nice. Why can't you keep for me, I'll eat them tomorrow. So the servant went and he kept the kachoris in the kitchen, and he told the Mataji in the kitchen, can you take care of these kachoris? Prabhupada wants to eat them, so tomorrow I'll, give Prabhupada again. She said, Prabhu, please don't depend on me. So many people are coming inside and out from the in and out, walking in and out from the kitchen. I can't take care. I'm already busy in the kitchen. No, Mataji, you take care. And he left. Next day morning, Prabhupada said, I want kachoris. So this devotee went to the kitchen. So he had kept at one particular place. When he opened, there is no kachori. So he said, Mataji, where is the kachori? Mataji said, Prabhuji, I told you yesterday only, I'm not responsible for this kachori. I don't know what happened. So he said, but what I should tell Prabhupada now? Prabhupada is going to ask me. Mataji said, tell Prabhupada, the cat ate the kachoris. So he went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked, where is my kachori? Prabhupada, the cat ate the kachoris. Prabhupada said, who told you that cat ate kachori? They have only eaten the kachori. So he came back and told the Mataji, Prabhupada said that who told cat has eaten kachori, that person has only eaten the kachori. Now what happens if you hear that kind of a statement? You'll feel so bad. I didn't do anything and I got such a big blame, right? For every small thing we get so disappointed. I didn't do it. It was not my mistake, but this person told me like that. Prabhupada said like this. Now I'm not going to do any seva. Now I'll not come to temple anymore. I don't want to do anything. But instead what this Mataji said, okay, let's not make issue about it. What Prabhupada said, okay, all right, fine. It's about kachori, I'll make the kachoris again. Immediately she cooked and she made a new set of kachoris and sent it to Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada ate the kachoris, he was so happy, right? So yeah, instead of making small things big, she just sorted it out. See, when you have nothing big to do in life, then you'll make every small thing into big thing. Because there's no bigger goal in life. So you're just looking for some small petty reason. Wow, this happened. Now I'll not come to temple. This happened. Now I'm not going to do any service anymore. But if we have bigger goals in life, we'll think, okay, forget it. That's a small thing. I want to do so many other things. Forget and forgive. Let's move forward. So this is what happened. Now Bharat thought, okay, they are misunderstanding me. Fine. Forget about all that. What I'm going to do now is go to Lord Ram and somehow get him back. There ends all the misunderstandings. They are thinking, right, because of me, Lord Ram left. I'll bring Lord Ram back. So he gets on and, he tries to go and bring Lord Ram back. But then we all know he never agreed and finally gave his padukas. So Bharat brought the padukas and he started worshipping the padukas. Now this is also one very important lessons. Look at the attitude of Bharat. When this all argument happened between Bharat and Ram, where Bharat is saying, I'm a crow, I cannot be the king, you have to be the king. And Lord Ram says, I cannot come back. I have promised father that, I will have this 14 years of banishment. I cannot come back. So when all this is happening, they finally told Janak Maharaj, you decide. You are the elder of the family. Since our father has left the body, you are like a father. You decide what is right thing. Then Janak Maharaj said, okay, I need to sleep on this. Tomorrow morning I'll give my decision. So next day morning Janak said, yes, my decision is that Lord Ram has to accept the kingdom of Ayodhya. He has to be the king. Immediately Lord Ram said, okay, since you are the elder of the family, I accept your decision. I accept to be the king of Ayodhya. But now I am the king of Ayodhya, and now as a king of Ayodhya, I order Bharat to rule the kingdom for 14 years on my behalf. Now Bharat also can't say anything because he is the instruction of the elder brother. So now, see the attitude of Bharat. He says, since I'm ruling it on your behalf, can you give your sandal? Can you give your footwear? And I will keep them on my head. I'll keep them on the Simhasan, and that is how I'll rule Ayodhya. So he ruled Ayodhya on behalf of Lord Ram. Doesn't belong to me. It's Lord's Ayodhya as of now under my care. So even we have to have that attitude in life. Whatever opulence we have, as of now, this is under my care, but it doesn't belong to me. This book belongs to Lord. As of now, under my care. This car, this properties, it belongs to Lord. As of now, it is under my care. I am a caretaker of Lord's property. If that is our attitude, then, we will become so selfless and we will progress in an amazing way. So this is what Bharata did. He saw the bigger picture. Yes, everything belongs to Lord Ram and I am servant of Lord Ram trying to serve Lord Ram. Now what happens here? Bharata has gone back. These people are in the forest, moving from one forest to another. Now comes Surpanakha. She comes and tries to allure Lord Ram. She comes dressed as a beautiful woman. But then when she tries to attack Mother Sita, then Lakshman cuts Surpanakha's nose. And as soon as Lakshman cuts her nose, then she comes back to her original form. Now this is what happens also. Sometimes we just mask. We are inside like the Surpanakha, but outside we may dress very beautifully and put up a mask. But during the provoking situations, our real me comes out. What the real nature is, it comes out. When people are nice to us, we are also very nice and very sweet. But when they're not nice to us, then the whole thing comes out. So how do we know the greatness of a person? During the provoking situations, how tolerant the person is able to be. By that way, we can test the greatness of the person. So, yeah, we may all have our weaknesses, but over the period, we should do abhyasa. Learn to be tolerant in every situation. See, overnight in provoking situations, we may not be able to be tolerant. But if we keep practicing it, so then when finally any adverse situation arises also, we will be able to maintain our cool. A small step, one by one. So now Surpanakha, she goes to Ravana and she complains. Ravana is disinterested. It's your problem. Why did you go and disturb them? Some munis, some couple, why you disturb them? He's not interested. Then now she thinks, what should I do? He's not showing any interest. Then she starts describing the beauty of Sita. Actually, I didn't want to disturb them because that lady was very beautiful and I was remembering you. I thought she will be the right queen for you. Now Ravan gets very interested. Is it? So beautiful she is. Really? Oh, that's how she looks. And now Surpanakha starts describing. So though Ravan was not interested, just because he heard, he gave a hearing. And then what happens? If you keep on meditating on a sense object, slowly what happens? Dhyayato vishyapunksha sangha sangopajayate. What happens? Slowly it leads to loss of intelligence. One becomes bewildered. So as a student, we should be very careful. Sometimes you see, when you associate with some people, you will think, 10 minutes, listening to some cricket commentary, what will happen? 5 minutes watching a teaser of the movie, what will happen? Little bit watching some news, what will happen? Even if it's not very conducive, it may not be anti-devotional, but it is non-devotional. Sometimes I will watch little. That little, what will happen? Slowly it will take away the whole space. Just like I many times give example in the train, if you travel in the third AC compartment, or sometimes they'll say, can you give little space? Ultimately, they'll take away all the space. You only have to stand and travel. So like that, Maya also asks for little space, then she takes away the whole space. This is what happened. Ravana heard a little bit about Sita, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And then he was completely infatuated. Now I want her now. What I should do now? Let me go and attack and somehow make a plan. I want Sita. Now finally what happens? He goes to Maricha, and Maricha comes as a deer, and Sita Mata gets attracted. And of course there is this whole thing, so many Vaishnava acharyas have given commentaries on this, that what happens, Sita gets attracted to deer, and that attraction to deer ultimately leads to separation from the Lord. And this is what is happening to Jivas also. We Jivas also get attracted to Maya, and then we get separated from Lord. So this deer is very dangerous. Sita Mata's life, a deer came and she was separated from the Lord. In Maharaj Bharat's life, a deer came and he had to become deer in his next life. And we see Dasharatha Maharaj, he thought a deer is drinking water, so he shot a arrow, and it was not a deer, it was Shravan Kumar who was drinking water and fetching water for his parents. Now by mistake he killed Shravan Kumar, so Shravan Kumar's parents cursed Dasharatha that even you will have separation from your son, just like you made us separate from our son. So what happened? In Dasharatha Maharaj's life there was this deer, and Sita Mata's life there was this deer, and Bharat Maharaj's life there was this deer. In our life also there must be some deer whom we don't know, which can separate us from Krishna. So we have to check who is our deer. So now what happened? Attachment means it will create some kind of a trap. Now she said, no, I want that deer. I want to take that deer home. I can keep it in my palace in Ayodhya. Once we go back, please bring that deer. Finally, Lord Ram goes, and then, to capture that deer. And meanwhile, what happens? Ravana comes here. And now Ravana, it comes in a disguise of a saint, and then requests Sita Mata to come out and give bhiksha. Now what happens here is, when Maricha, who comes as a deer, is chased by Lord Ram, and then finally, he's killed by Lord Ram, and then as he leaves his body, he shouts, Lakshmana, Sita. And Lakshmana also goes, because Sita Mata is very upset with Lakshmana. How can you stand here, I don't need your protection, go and protect your brother. So Lakshmana, he puts a Lakshman Rekha, he puts a line that Sita Mata should not cross. So now what happened? Sita Mata did cross, and because she crossed the line, she was captured by Ravana. Similarly, in our spiritual life also, we have this line of 4 rules and regulations. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, right? So, no intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, and no gambling. So, if we cross that line of, 4 rules and regulation, then Ravana is standing ready to kidnap us. So, that's what Mother Sita did. And, immediately Ravana has captured her. Sita Mata was very impressed by Ravana. He's a saint and I have to serve him. That's my duty. And she did not realize her mistake. And then finally she was gone. Now finally what happens? Ravana gets Sita, and then meanwhile Lakshmana, he gets scolded by Lord Ram. What is this? Don't you have that much sense? How did you leave Sita alone? Lakshmana says, what can I do? She was shouting on me. Lord Rama says, oh, she's a woman. You should not take so seriously. She said something out of, you're supposed to. Now, if anybody is in Lakshman's place, they'll get very upset. She's also shouting on me, and I came here, he's also shouting on me. She's shouting, he's shouting. What am I supposed to do? I'm just trying to serve both of them, leaving my house and my wife and everything, not eating for food, not sleeping, not eating. But what Lakshman did at that point of time is that, okay, Mother Sita spoke to me like harshly, but it's not because she hates me, it's just that she is in tension, and because of that, that's not her intention, but she is in tension, and that is why she has spoken. Oh, Lord Ram is speaking with me like that because he is in tension. So this is one very good way of looking at things. In our lives also, in relationships, sometimes people may say something which we may not like. But at that time, we should immediately start meditating on things about them which we like. So there may be so many 100 things that they have done nice to us. But there is one small thing that they have not done nice to us. So it's okay. Because in the bank, there is not always deposit. Sometimes there will be withdrawal also. But as soon as withdrawal comes, you should not become upset. Why you are withdrawing? Yeah, I deposited so much love in you. Sometimes I'll withdraw also. So sometimes, in our relationships also, there will be some withdrawal. So whenever such thing happens, you should immediately remember the good things. But this thing, so nice it was, and that time so much he has helped me in my Krishna consciousness. I was so inspired by this person. I've taken so many nice teachings. But okay, once in a while this has happened. Same thing with Lakshman. He was very positive. It's okay. But I've got so much blessings and affection from my brother and sister-in-law. Now they're in tension. Out of anger, they have said something. That's all right. So now what happened finally? They both now are in searching Sita. And meanwhile, what happens here? When Sita was carried by Ravana, Jatayu, he tries his best to protect Mother Sita. Now Jatayu is an old bird. He's 60,000 years old and fragile body. But he somehow works hard and tries to fight with Ravana. This is also a very important lesson. We don't have to be the best. We just have to do the best. We cannot be the best. If you try to be the best, then you will get depression, anxiety, all that. But you can always do the best. Do your 100% in whatever you are doing. So Jatayu, he tries his best. But now what Ravan does? Ravan cuts Jatayu's wing. So now when he falls down, Sita Mata is crying all the more. Now Jatayu feels more bad. What should I do? So with that one wing, he again fights with Ravana. Maybe like he just pierces Ravana, takes out his armor, tries his best. But Ravana again cuts another wing of Jatayu, and Jatayu falls down. Now you see in Ramayana, these two characters, Jatayu and Maricha, both have a very wonderful contrast. Because when Ravan went to Maricha and said that, why can't you, become a deer and we will cheat Ram and we'll abduct Sita. Maricha said, are you a fool or what? Go back and be happy with Mandodari. Why do you want to fight with Lord Ram? Whoever has given you this advice of fighting with Ram is your enemy. Actually, Ravan gets convinced and he goes back also. But again, Surpanakha gives brainwash. Again, he comes back to Maricha and says, don't give me your lecture. Are you going to help me or not? Otherwise, I'll kill you. Then Maricha says, okay, instead of getting killed by you, better I get killed by Lord Ram. Okay, I'll go and I'll become deer. Now look at his philosophical knowledge. He's speaking like a devotee. Instead of getting killed by you, better I get killed by Ram. When we hear like that, we feel, wow, Uttam Vichar. What a high, philosophy he has. He wants to be killed by Lord Ram. But if you see in the bigger picture, it's stupidity. So it's not important that in whose hand you are getting killed. It's important that for whose hand you are getting killed. So it's not about for whom you die. It's about for whom you live. So it was very important that, for what purpose you are living. Now, very great that he wanted to die in Lord Ram's hand. But did he help Lord Ram? No, he did not please Lord Ram. Because he did such a badmash work when he was dying, instead of quietly dying, okay, I got opportunity to die from Lord Ram's hand. No, he imitated the voice of Lord Rama and said, hey Sita, hey Lakshmana. So what he did? He may be having big philosophy, I want to die by Lord's hand. But ultimately he did disservice to Lord. Jatayu does not know any such philosophy by dying with Ravan's hand or Ram's hand. But he served Lord Ram. Though he died by Ravan's hand, but he would please the Lord so much. Lord was so happy. Lord did his final rites. So who is more glorious? We don't glorify Maricha, so what an ideal. He wanted to die by Lord Ram's hand. No, we glorify Jatayu. Though he died by demon Ravan's hand. But who did the final rites? Lord Ram did. He was so pleased with him. So sometimes you see, some people have lot of shastric knowledge, but they don't implement in their life, means they are like Maricha only. Maricha having so much knowledge. Jatayu is a simple bird. He is not speaking any big Bhagavad Gita philosophy. But he actually implemented in his life. He did seva for Lord Ram. And Maricha is speaking big philosophies, but he didn't do any service. He displeased the Lord. So it's not about, just quoting verses and speaking and chanting 64 rounds and somebody says, Prabhu, thoda seva karenge. No, I'm chanting. No. I'm preparing a PPT presentation for today's class. Don't disturb me. I cannot do any service. What is the use? You're making PPT presentation and you're giving a class. Can you, Prabhu, some seva? No, seva I cannot do. I'm doing something. It is like, I love this story of this husband and wife where he had a sleeping disorder. So doctor told his wife, make sure your husband takes every day 2 tablets. Then there will be no sleeping problem. She was such an obedient wife. Every day she used to give those 2 tablets to the husband and he used to sleep nicely. One day she forgot to give the tablets. But husband slept off. So she went and woke him up. Get up. Why? You forgot to take your sleeping tablets. Hurry, you fool, I already slept, na. No, but doctor told, na, I have to give you everyday sleeping tablets. Hurry, I was already sleeping, why you woke me up? So this is that kind of a dry knowledge, where you have lot of knowledge, but you don't implement it. You don't want to serve Krishna. Just have knowledge. You can make beautiful PPT and give beautiful class, but you don't want to serve Krishna. Then what's the point, right? And now I see the latest trend is that everybody wants to become a preacher, but then nobody wants to actually follow it. Just want to preach, and they just want to preach, and they want to preach. And just recently somebody came to me and he said, we have in our native place, there is some land, and can you make a temple there? And I said, I just asked him, why do you want to make a temple? Why? Tell me, why do you want to make it? Because he was expecting that the moment you tell Mataji, we want to make a temple, she'll be thrilled. Wow, you want to make a temple? I am not at all thrilled. Why do you want to make a temple? He had no answer. We preach. Oh, really? You want to preach? Do you chant 16 rounds? No. Do you follow rules and regulations? No. I said, then why do you want to preach? I mean, you're not following in your life. What is the excitement of preaching? Why not you? I told him, forget about making temple and all. Why not you chant your 16 rounds, come for Sunday program. First you become a good devotee, because it is said that Janma Sarthaka Kari Karo Paropakar. So let you, first you do your Janma Sarthak, then we'll think about, helping others and all. So this is the latest trend I see, that, preach. Okay, but what will you teach? If you don't practice, you have to practice it in your life, right? Anyway, let's come back. It's already 7. This is what happens, and it's already 7:05. Do you want me to continue, or shall we pause and take question answers? Okay. So then what happens here is, finally now they meet Shabari. And we know how Shabari gives the so-called contaminated berries, because she has contaminated them by, eating them. But then it's not about the content, it's about the intent. She wanted to give the best of berries. In fact, in Gujaratis, there is a bhajan. Who said that berries were contaminated by Shabari? They are not contaminated. Why? Because Shabari is always chanting Lord Ram's name on her tongue. And there is no difference between Lord Ram and his name. Right? So, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvam Nama Namini. There is no difference between Lord Ram and his name. That means Lord Ram was sitting on top of Shabari's tongue, and he is the one who tasted the berries. So how can you say the berries were contaminated, So anyway, so she gives this berries to the Lord, and Lord is so happy, because everybody has a different language of love. This is one lesson that we can learn from this incident, is that sometimes we just very quickly judge people, but everybody has different ways of expressing love. It's just that we have to understand their language of love. So sometimes we don't understand the value of what the value they have associated with that which they are giving us, and we may devalue it or not understand it. So this is one thing very important in relationships also. When we deal with people around us, maybe it's their way of expressing, maybe it's their way of communicating. So like Shabari had her language of love, where she wanted to give berries to the Lord, So we shouldn't understand or judge people on that basis. Maybe that's their best way to express their love, or express their affection. I've seen sometimes if some professors, just this morning my son was sharing with me that one of their professor, my son studies he's doing his MBA from IIM Calcutta. He's just come here for vacation. So he was saying, one of our professors, Mama, is so rude, and for everything he says, you people are nonsense, you people are, he keeps on. So he said, one day I went and asked him in the staff room, sir, do you hate us all because you keep shouting on us and you keep telling us, Then he said, you know what, actually from the core of my heart, I love you all. You're all so intelligent. When I have to teach the students from other college, whatever I teach you all in 5 minutes, they take 5 days to understand. It's a pleasure to teach you. But I scold you like this because I want you to improve more and improve more. That is why. Then my son said, then I felt relief. Otherwise I was thinking, why does he always keep scolding our batch? So language of love is different. He loves them, but only thing he wants them to improve more. So he's very strict and sometimes uses very harsh words, right? But he's a well-wisher, ultimately. So this is very important lesson to understand, So Shabari's way of language of love was she wanted to give those berries to Lord Ram. Anyway, so then finally what happens? Hanuman, he goes in search with others, and finally they understand that she's in Lanka. So Hanuman goes to Lanka, and then there are so many obstacles which come on the way, and finally he reaches Mother Sita and gives Lord Ram's ring. And so now it's all done, and finally Mother Sita tells, Hanuman, I'm eagerly waiting for Lord Ram to come and rescue me. So Hanuman asks Mother, what should I give message? How is your situation here? And Mother Sita says, Hanuman, actual calamity in life is when we forget the Lord. But for a fraction of a second also, I haven't forgotten Lord. So she says that actual vipatti in life is when you forget Lord. So here, though I'm in this situation, I have constantly in smarana and bhajana of Lord Ram and ask him to come and take me quickly. Meanwhile, what happens? This Ravana is being given good counsel by Vibhishan, by Manthara, Mandodari. Why are you doing this? But what happens when you are too much clouded by arrogance and pride? You cannot understand that people around you are your well-wishers. You will take everybody, with a pinch of salt, and you will like when Mandodari is telling, why are you lusting after her? Oh, are you jealous of her because Sita is more beautiful than you? When Bibhishan is saying, why are you lusting after somebody else's wife? Oh, just because you didn't get somebody like Sita in your life, that's why you're so like, he's not able to understand that they are my well-wishers. He's thinking everybody is envious of me. See, what happens is, actually in this world, we actually look at people as our reflections. So whatever we are inside, that's what we see in others. If we have envy in us only, now we'll see, hey, it looks like this guy is envious of me. This guy is, actually that quality is in you. So that is reflected on others. And you think that he is having that quality. Because if you don't have that quality in yours, you'll always have benefit of doubt, and you will never point out to somebody that he's like this, he's like, because you cannot even imagine. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he was asked that go and first search for somebody bad, what he said, whole day he searched and came back and he told Bhishma, I could not find even one bad guy. I tried my best, because he himself is so good, he can't see anybody bad. And when Duryodhan was asked that go and get some good guy, he said, whole day I searched. One good guy is also not there in Hastinapur. Because he is bad. He cannot see anybody good. This is what happened with Ravana. Anybody trying to give him some good advice, oh, are you envious of me? Oh, you are envious of me. And he is just surrounded by all yes-mans. Yes-mans. Everybody should like, oh, you are great, you are great. Then he's very happy. He doesn't want any corrections. This is also a very, very important lesson, dear students. Don't always surround yourself with people who constantly keep praising you. You are amazing, you are great, you are this. No. You should have somebody who shows you the actual mirror. If people in your life are ready to give you corrections, then you are living a very healthy life. And if people in your life are afraid to give you corrections, Arey, wo bura maan jayega. No, I don't think I should correct him. He may feel bad. That means we are not living a healthy life, where people are not ready to give us correction. They are reluctant. People should be like, our behavior should be such that when people are so ready to offer us corrections, oh, that Mataji, no problem, I can go and tell her. She will take it very sportively and she will immediately change her behavior. She is very nice. That kind of feedback, people should talk about us. Not that, if I tell na, she may feel bad na, she may stop coming to temple. That means we are in a very unhealthy situation where people around us are not even ready to offer us corrections. So that is one very important lesson. Ravana was not ready for any corrections, any suggestions. He thought, I am the best. Now, meanwhile, what is happening is, even this Sugriv Vali things also. We know how Vali had become judgmental of Sugriv. Sugriv had no intention to close that cave or kill his brother. By mistake, he thought that my brother has died. Looks like the demon has won. You all know the story, so I'm not elaborating. So that is why he closed the cave, so that the demon should not come out and attack. And he became the self-made king. But when Vali came back, he had all kinds of imaginations. Maybe he purposely did it. Now I will not leave Sugriv. I'll kill him. And unnecessarily, what happened? Ultimately, Vali had to meet his death in the hands of Lord Rama. So one should not become judgmental. We should be very careful. And I tell you, in my own personal life, when we went to Dwarika on a tour, so there was this one lady in the security. She's pushing everybody. So I became so judgmental of her. I was thinking, she doesn't have any devotion. What kind of lady? There is no much crowd also. Still she's pushing. At least when there is no crowd, she should allow us to see the Lord. Na? She has no devotion. Looks like she's atheist. Why they keep this kind of security people? They should keep some devotee-minded. All that I was thinking. Because whole day we were in the Dwarka temple and we were again coming in line and taking Dwarkadish darshan, and we were going on doing it. So whole day I was having some kind of an attitude that this security guard, this lady is not a good lady. I tell you, in the evening what happened is, her duty was over. So she changed her dress and she came in normal civil dress, and she was standing in front of the Dwarkadish deities and she was crying with so much affection. Then I thought, Hari, in the evening when I looked at her, I thought I misunderstood her completely. She was just doing her duty, because if she doesn't do that and she becomes very soft and then everybody will like, thoda der aur darshan karne do. Nobody will move. That's why she has to behave like very hard-hearted. Even if you smile at her, she'll not smile. Come on, move, she'll say, So I felt so bad that how can I be so judgmental? How suddenly, how quickly I judged her. I didn't even have that patience to understand her perspective, or I didn't even put my feet in her shoes and try and understand the situation. So this is very important, devotees. We should never draw conclusions, We can make observation, not conclusion. We don't know what's the other side of the story. Whenever you look at somebody and apparently if it seems wrong also, convince your mind that there is something about this which I don't know as of now. So let me not judge anything. Let me just wait. Maybe I'll understand. Maybe if not now, after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, or after I become mature in Krishna consciousness, I'll understand why this devotee is doing this, or why is that devotee behaving like this. There must be some reason I don't know as of now. We should avoid making offenses. Now, many times, students, they come to me and say, the first time when we came to ISKCON temple and we saw the deities, that was like chamatkar. So beautiful feeling, so happy. First time when I ate the kheer. First time when I heard that kirtan. First time when I chanted that first round. But after that, that same enthusiasm is not coming. It will not come because offenses. Making so many offenses towards devotees. So that same taste doesn't come again, right? So one should be very careful. So this is what happened with Sugriva and Vali. And Vali was punished by the Lord. Vali was killed by Lord. And then what happened with Sugriva? Though he was supposed to help the Lord, he got engulfed and engrossed in sense gratification. And then finally Lakshmana, the Guru Tattva, had to go and wake him up. What is this? For 4 months you have been relaxing. Get up. And you have to get things going, form the army and get ready. So this is also a very important lesson. We need that Guru Tattva, Guru in our life, because we may just get engrossed in Maya, but somebody to come and threaten us and come and wake us up from our slumber, from our sleep. And of course, there are 2 times that Sugriva is allured by Maya or opulences. One is in the 4 months of Chaturmasa, and the second time is when they actually cross the bridge, cross with the help of bridge and reach Lanka. Then Ravana sends messages to Sugriva, defect, come on my side. I'll give you half of my kingdom. I'll give you money. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. But Sugriva does not agree. So 2 times we see. One time Sugriva was so paka, I don't need anything. But one time during Chaturmasa he became a little bit, engrossed in Maya. So the thing is, even in our lives as devotees, when Maya comes like upfront and direct, yes, do you want a plate of chicken noodles? No, that cannot disturb us, But if Maya comes and tells us, please don't chant 16 rounds today. You can do tomorrow because today you have assignment and you have exam and you have semester end and you have this. Then we'll say, I think so. I'm tired and also I'm having headache and also better I don't go for Mangalarti today. I think I'll go tomorrow. So that attack of Maya is very difficult to, The bigger attack where it's like very gross, we'll say, no, I'm not going to engage in eating non-veg. I'm not going to engage in that. But when Maya pushes us to push Krishna down our priority list, we sometimes get into that. Yeah, I think so. I can do it later on. I think I can attend the class. I think I'll hear the recorded class. So like that, we'll slowly push Krishna in our priority list below somewhere. So that is a subtle erosion, which Maya engages in, and we should be very careful with that. So then finally, what happens now? Sugriva has already arranged. Hanuman is gone, given the message. Now the army has built. Everything is getting wonderful. Now Vibhishan comes. And Vibhishan wants to, help Lord Rama. And of course, Lord Rama accepts because that's Lord Rama's promise. If anybody comes and surrenders and says for one time, Tava Asmi, my Lord, I am yours. In fact, this is one of my favorite prayers. I keep telling everybody that if you don't know much Sanskrit and you don't know many prayers, you can just stand in front of the Lord and say, Tava Asmi, my Lord, I belong to you. That's all. If somebody says one time, Tava Asmi, I'm yours. Finished. Sakrideva Prapannatmam. So, Tava Asmi, iti yachati. If somebody says even one time, I'm yours, then I will protect him. That is my vrata, Lord says. And Lord Rama's vrata means it's not like Krishna's vrata. Lord Rama is what? Raghukula Riti Sadachali Ai Pranajaya Par Vachananajaya. And he's saying, I promise, if you say one time, I'm yours. That's it. The rest of the eternity, I'll always protect you. That's what Lord Ram says. So Vibhishan comes and prays, and I am surrendering to you. Lord Ram says, okay, accepted. I accept you. Lord Rama accepts him. And then of course the Agastya Muni also comes and gives some divine weapons to the Lord. So this is very important. Agastya Muni comes and helps Lord with divine arrows and all. So, to kill Ravana. So there are also so many anarthas in our heart, like Ravana, like anarthas. And we also need an Agastya Muni in our life to give the divine weapons. And that Agastya Muni in our life is Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. With his books and with his devotees and with his ISKCON and with his temples. And he's giving us those divine arrows to kill that Ravana, like anarthas in our heart. That's what Agastya Muni does. And then all these monkeys also help, by attacking the other demons. See, these monkeys were not big archers or they were not some trained soldiers, but they had this attitude that as we want to serve Lord Ram, that itself is enough. We are not, we may be unqualified, but we are not disqualified. Lord accepts everybody. We just have to have that attitude. And mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate giram yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Diratarinam. So if somebody makes that desire, then by blessings of Guru and Krishna, even if they may not be qualified, they will become qualified, because we are not disqualified. We are just unqualified. We don't know how to serve. But if we just go with that right attitude, all the good qualities will start emerging, and even a person who can't speak may start giving classes, a person who can't walk may start doing Govardhan Parikrama, everything will happen. You just need the blessings of Guru and Krishna and the right attitude in mind. So, by association of devotees and following the ABCD, association books and proper diet of eating only Krishna Prasadam and associating with the devotees in the right attitude, in the right mind, then we'll be able to kill the Ravana and finally get Sita back. That Sita is the Bhakti Devi, back in our life. So this is what happened with this. I end it here. I've already gone over time, and thank you so much for bearing with me, and I hope and pray that this discussion that we had today helps you in whatever small or bigger ways in your Krishna conscious life. Thank you so much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. I'll now open it up for questions, if any. The last part of it I didn't understand. You said Lakshmana is the most tolerant in Ramayana. So, in real world?
Yeah. How can we become tolerant like Lakshmana?
How can we become tolerant like Lakshmana? When we can become tolerant when we see the bigger picture. See, we are unable to become tolerant because we are seeing things, in a linear way, like this life. But if we try and understand that whatever happening in our life is not only result is equal to action of this life, it is result plus previous life karma, plus Lord's mercy, Lord's divine intervention. If we see that bigger picture, then we'll be able to tolerate situation. See, when you put some biscuit for the dog looks at the biscuit and becomes very happy. But if you put some food for lion, the lion does not look at the food, the lion will look at your hand. Who is that hand putting the food? Similarly, when as devotees, whenever a situation arises, we don't look at the situation, we look at the hand behind the situation. We know that every situation that is happening in our life is planned by Krishna. Because see, one thing we are convinced, in this world, even a leaf cannot move without Krishna's permission. That means whatever is happening in my life has Krishna's permission. Otherwise, it cannot happen. Without Krishna's sanction and permission, nothing can happen. And if Krishna has sanctioned it and has given permission, Krishna is my well-wisher. Bhoktaram Yajnitapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwar. Suhrida. He is my Suhrida. So if he has planned that for me, that means there must be something nice behind it. See, one thing in life you should understand, just one mantra. Things don't happen to us. Things happen for us. Things don't happen to us. Things happen for us. Whatever happens, there is a divine plan. There is a master plan. It may not be not able to understand it right now, but there is something that's in store for us in future. When we have that faith on Krishna, we'll be able to tolerate no matter what situation arises. Right? That there must be something which I'm not able to understand, because things can be out of our control, but things are always under Krishna's control. No matter what is the situation, Krishna is always under control. So if he has, planned this for us, there must be something behind it. So have faith on Krishna and always take guidance from your mentors or somebody who knows you well, and so they can give you some kind of a talk. Sometimes certain situations are too difficult to tolerate, but you need somebody in your life who will show you a different perspective of looking at it, just like Lord Ram showed a different perspective of looking at it. Oh, I'll get more time with Sita. Oh, I'll get wisdom from. So like that, even in adverse situation, to count your blessings and see the positive side of it. Sometimes when we are in problem, we can't see that. We need a third party intervention. See, you'll observe, when somebody else is in problem, we can give very good counseling. But when it comes to our own problem, then we become stuck. But when somebody else means, we can immediately quote some slokas from Bhagavad Gita, tell some nice story. So like that, we also need help from others. Because when we are ourselves in that problem, we cannot think clearly. So when somebody else can come and tell, no, Prabhuji, aisa nahi, aisa sochiye. हाँ, ये भी सही है, correct, I should have thought like that. Then we'll be able to tolerate. ऐसे तो ये situation में ऐसा भी हो सकता था, but you are, things could have been worst, but it's okay, you can manage, you will sail through. ऐसे दो चार कोई अच्छा बोलता है, then you feel relaxed. Yeah, I think I'll sail through it. And somebody comes and tell you, look, these are like waves. Just like waves can't stay permanently, the wave has to come and has to go back. That's the nature of the wave. Similarly, in your life also, nothing is permanent. It'll come and go. Situations will keep on changing. In fact, just last Sunday, I was telling the devotees, for a healthy body, you require a healthy mind. And for a healthy mind, please don't mind. Don't mind. What happens in situations, matter does not matter. Because matter is matter after all. And what are we going to do with this matter? Matter is temporary, so matter does not matter. So that's it. Please don't mind. Keep this, I keep this line in my, school wall, For healthy mind, please don't mind. Things will happen. Don't take it so seriously. Look at life. You have like a multi-life dimension, if I should pronounce it that way. Life is not birth to death. You have been here before, and you're going to also be after death. So there's so many things happening. This is just one very small part of your life. Very, very small, minuscule part of your big life that you have. You've been here for a long time. Your soul is there from Anadikal. So when you hear this and all, you try to understand bigger picture of things, you'll be able to tolerate better. And of course, I think on one lecture I've given a big class on this whole subject of tolerance. I don't remember which is that class. But yeah, it can help you. Let me see if I remember it. I'll send it by WhatsApp. Yeah, a very interesting question. So everybody goes through this. Just like when you enter a cave, in the beginning, it's nice because you just entered, so you can see the light there and you'll go. But when you come in midway somewhere, neither you can see the light from the entrance, neither you can see exit. So you will get very agitated at that time because it's all dark there. So you will feel, I go back because I can't see the exit. But at that time, if you have a mentor in your life and you can say, come on, be patient, just 2 more steps and you can actually see the exit, and just holds your hand and you have that faith, and then you cross over and you say, yes, I can see the light now. So that's what happens in Krishna consciousness also. In the beginning, you're like, okay, because 1 foot outside, 1 foot inside. But when you actually start practicing, there's so many things that will happen. You have so many expectations. You can't make sense of things. And you have not completely read the scriptures, so you still have so many doubts. So you really need a mentor, somebody who will keep giving you that confidence, and yes, things will happen like that, and don't worry, and and as I told you, like, you have to see a bigger picture, just like I just now answered, that there are so many things that has happened before you have born, and there's so many things that will happen afterwards also. So you need constant nourishment, just like a creeper or a tree or a plant needs watering. You need constant spiritual nourishment of reading, hearing. When this kind of thoughts will come, enough is when our spiritual nourishment has gone down. Not reading Bhagavatam, not regularly hearing classes, not chanting properly, having wrong association, then so many things will happen. Because when you associate with the wrong kind of people, or when you associate with people whose definition of success is not what your definition of success is, then you will get sometimes disappointed. He's getting better ranks, he's earning more money, he's got better job. What am I doing in this Krishna consciousness? What's happening with my life? Because you are associating with people whose definition of success is different. But when you associate with devotees, they put you in the right shoe. They give you the right thinking. Hey, what are you thinking? This is not the way to look at life. Look like this, look like that. They give you the right spectacles of looking at things. But it's just that sometimes you remove that spectacles and then you start thinking, what is happening in my life? So get back those spectacles of Shastra again and start looking at things with the view of Shastra. Then you will understand everything as it's supposed to be understood. Why? When we are feeling this frustrations means we are sleeping. We may be awake physically, but we are actually sleeping. We are not awakened our knowledge. That's why we'll see things like, why is this happening? What is this happening? But when we see with Shastra Chakshu, then everything will make sense. There's this beautiful bhajan in Gujarati. Jagine jo to jagat dishe nahi ungh mat pata bhoga bhase Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Said when the Narsimha Mehta is telling in this bhajan that Jagine jo to jagat bhase nahi. When I am awake from my sleep, then I don't like this material world. But when I'm sleeping, then I feel, so beautiful this world is. So what does it mean here is an allegory, example he is giving is that when you see things awaken with the spiritual knowledge, then you can see everything clearly and you can understand the temporariness of this material world. But if you are sleeping, then you will think, this material world is so beautiful. So you have to get Shastra Chakshu and with the help of Guru. You need Guru, Sadhu and Shastra in your life. Okay, how many more questions? 7:37. Yes. Give me 1 second. Yes. What's your name? I don't remember getting any mail. Did you get my spelling right? Nitaisevini. At sevini@gmail.com. Yeah, that's my email. Try sending again today. Okay. Because sometimes, if there are many emails, I don't know if they have gone down somewhere. That may be also. Yes.
Hare Krishna. You just quoted, we don't have to be the best, we have to do the best. The student we are trying to teach and first Krishna, how do we contribute?
Okay, what I understand your question is, I said you don't have to be the best, you have to do the best. Yeah, that's very important because when you try to be the best, that's where you get all anxiety and stress and all, because we can't be the best. We can't be the most perfect and the most ideal person. We can only be reasonably good. And we try to become that perfect person, that ideal person. That is where we get all kinds of mental stress. So because as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, don't be worried about the result. Just do your duty. Karmane vadhikarasya mafaleshu kadachana. If the students follow this in their life, that stress, anxiety, everything will go away. 3 things only student has to follow. Do your best. Don't compare with others. And have regulated life. Yukta ahara viharasya. If 3 things the students do, there will be no, the 3 verses in Gita is karmane vadhikarasya and swadharma. You do your swadharma, your prescribed duty, don't try to see, in others, and yukta ahara vihara. These 3 verses in Gita, the students by heart, and that's it, their life will be very happy. Always, our problem is comparing with others. So I always give this example, my patent example. The peacock can dance, the cow can give milk. Peacock should not try to give milk and the cow should not try to dance. Whatever ability Krishna has given us, that's it. Krishna has made original, let's not die photocopy. If Krishna wanted us to become like her, he would have made us like her. Krishna didn't want us to become like her. Krishna wanted us to be like what we are. Let's be what we are. So, don't have to worry about others and do whatever you're doing in a regulated way. And when I said that do your best is, you should always try to do your 100%. You should not expect that the result also will be 100%. That yes, I did my best, so yes, I will get 100 out of 100. No, you may not. You did your 100%. Maybe you get 20 out of 100. Because, as I always say, result is equal to, hard work is equal to result is a wrong formula. It's not the right formula. Hard work is equal to result is not the formula. Hard work plus Purva Janma Karma plus Krishna's desire plus time is equal to result. So if you just get that equation right, then your answers will be correct. But if you don't have the equation, like you have this a plus b whole square, a square b, you have to get that thing right. Otherwise all the sums will be wrong. So hard work is equal to result is a wrong formula. Hard work plus previous life karma plus time plus Krishna's intervention is equal to result. So we can only do our best because we can only do our part. If we do our part, then the rest will be taken care by Krishna. So we should do what we can do, then Krishna will do what we can't do. We should not try to do, Krishna's part. Like I always give this example. When we get on the flight, we don't go and ask the pilot, is the petrol भरा है तो? बीच में रुकेगा नहीं तो flight? आपके पास license है तो? We don't ask the pilot that. Pilot will say, get out, get lost, sit in your chair, and fasten your seat belt. So don't worry about other things. Just do your best. Rest, everything is in Krishna's hand. So there is this. All of the devotees here are standing on my head. They want me to close the class, and the car is ready below because I'm supposed to attend one devotee's marriage, one of our congregation devotees' marriage, and go and bless them. So all of them are here and they're eagerly waiting for me to close the class, and I have to close because the muhurtam is at 8:30. So I have to speed up my car and reach there by 8:30 to give the blessing to the couple. So I'm so sorry if I will have to close the session here. And if there are any other questions, maybe I can take them by email, or sometimes in future we can have another class. So I'll have to close it here, and I'll have to go and otherwise this marriage comes once in life. I don't want to disappoint the couple. I better go and bless them and come. So thank you so much, and sorry for leaving the class.